Hello. Welcome to the stream. Please let me know in the chat if you can hear my voice. If I could get a quick microphone check, I would appreciate it. It is the last day of the quarter, September 30th, 6 p.m. Thanks, Stephen. Appreciate that. It is Monday. It is time for another DeFi Guide live stream. But before we get into the content today, please do yourself a huge favor and learn the #1 rule in DeFi. We do DeFi the right way, which means we use a Web3 wallet to take full custody of our coins and tokens. A Web3 wallet is a seed phrase. A seed phrase is a wallet. They are anonymous. So when you first start getting involved in crypto and DeFi, and you get that Web3 wallet, you get that seed phrase, you need to keep that seed phrase to yourself. Keep it a secret. I recommend having it as a hard copy, not an electronic file. So you don't want to have some kind of file on your phone or your computer. No text files, no photographs, nothing electronic, because those devices can get hacked and then you lose your seed phrase. And you lose all of your crypto. So keep it as a hard copy. Don't give it to anybody. I mean, that should go without saying, but you would really be surprised. Don't give it to any of the scammers. They will come out and try to talk you into giving them your seed phrase. So don't fall for the tricks. Never email it to anybody, not even to yourself. Remember, no electronic copies. And certainly don't enter it into any kind of a website. That's a very common scam. Try to get you to go to a website and put in your 12 words. They won't call it a secret recovery phrase like it should be called. They'll just call it your 12-word verification phrase or some crap like that. And yeah, so don't fall for that. You really don't need your seed phrase in the future. You record it in some kind of a hard copy version, lock it away somewhere safe and secure, leave it there. You don't need it again unless you're restoring your wallet on a new device. Let's say you got a new phone, you got a new computer. That's the one and only time you need to bust out that seed phrase, restore your wallet on that new device, and then lock it back away. Keep it safe, keep it to yourself. Thank you for joining me. Please like the video. My name is Brandon, also known as the DeFi Guide. I've been in DeFi since May of 2021. I quit my job in January of 2022, and this is all I do now. So what I do specifically is I teach crypto and DeFi. I primarily do so with these live streams. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, turn on notifications so you'll know every time I'm going live. It's an opportunity for us to interact in real time. And my favorite thing to do in this job, I don't think of this as work or a job, but this is what I do. My favorite part is to interact with all of you in the live chat. I have the chat here on my screen, so you can ask questions, and I do my best to provide the answers. If you can't tune in for the live streams for whatever reason, but you still have questions, make sure to join the Telegram group. You can see the URL at the bottom of your screen, t.me/team drip guide. Telegram is a free chat application. Put it on your phone, put it on your computer, connect to that Telegram group, join the group for free, open to everybody, and ask your questions in there. The one thing I would suggest, the one thing that you need to watch out for when you're using Telegram, and when you ask a question in a public chat like mine, you will be bombarded by the scammers, and they will send you private messages trying to appear helpful, but they're really trying to scam you. So watch out for the DMs, the direct messages or the private messages. Ask your questions in the chat, and then stay in the chat. Look for the answers in the chat, either from myself or one of my admins. There are a lot of knowledgeable, friendly people in that chat. So that is really the place to keep your learning going. So I'm going to do my best today to talk all about the new blockchain SWI. I say new, I believe it launched in May or April of last year. I know that trading started on one of the centralized exchanges as of May last year. Just recently, the SWI token got added to Binance. So you can trade the token in Binance.us or Binance.com, depending on where in the world you are. And I even noticed today, I logged into my Coinbase account, so you can trade SWI in Coinbase as well. And anyway, I'm going to talk all about and teach you as much as I can about the SWI blockchain, and especially providing liquidity in SWI. But if I don't get to everything, again, Telegram is the place to sort of continue your learning journey. And that's what I can recommend. I can't provide any kind of investment advice or financial advice, but I can recommend that you spend as much time and energy as you can learning all about crypto, DeFi, Web3, right? It's not going away. The future is decentralized. These blockchains are going to be doing a lot of business in the future. They're already getting a lot of attention, but it's only going to grow from here. So it's a tremendous wealth building opportunity that is available to each and every one of us right now. Let's share the screen. What's up, Tony? Nice to see you. Thanks, Caleb. Hey, LCM, nice to see you guys here. So I wanted to start the discussion with actually this Twitter post or x.com post. This guy is Must Stop Murad. So at Must Stop Murad. And he was one of the speakers at the recent cryptocurrency conference in Singapore called Token 2049. And my buddy Jishan clued me into this post and this talk from Murad, and I thought it was fantastic. And it really sort of changed my entire perspective about cryptocurrency and what to invest in. Long story short, he's super bullish on meme coins for a lot of different reasons, and he really lays out a really clear case, a bull case, as they say, for meme coins in general. And I was blown away by this talk, and I was also overwhelmed because one of the things he mentions in this talk is how in 2024 there's something like 5,500 new coins coming out every day. So when you think about the meme coin space, it's just, for me, it's just completely overwhelming. How could I possibly know which of these, 5,000 plus tokens coming out every day will be successful, right? And so rather than trying to spend all my hours and days researching different meme coins and trying to pick the winner and investing, in hundreds of different coins, what I want to do during this bull cycle is invest in the blockchain that is most likely to see a serious increase in transaction volume due to the meme coin craze. Okay, so in the last cycle, the favorite, golden child blockchain was Solana. And I am of the opinion that, hey, Jello. Hey. It's so weird because he never growls. He never barks. Not here in Puerto Rico. Anyway, stop. Hey, there's my buddy Jishan. So shout out to Jishan. He's so knowledgeable and very active in the space. Always finding cool and interesting things like this post on X and this guy's talk at Token 2049. So what was I saying? So Solana was very successful, and the Sol token pumped really hard in the last bull run. This time around, I think it's going to be SWE, and it's already been pumping pretty well. This is an hourly chart, so if we look, and I have a bunch of different drawings and lines and levels and stuff on here, and my boxes for wherever I've provided liquidity, etc. But it's already been pumping pretty well in the last few weeks. And I think it's only going to continue. If I zoom out to a daily chart, you could see I don't really pay attention to that spike there. I think the previous all-time high was something around $2.17, $2.18. I think we're headed back there, and I think we're going to, just like Solana did, we're going to enter what they call price discovery, where we blow up higher than this previous all-time high, and then just off to the races, right? So that's my opinion. Of course, I can't predict the future, right? Nobody can. But SWE seems to be pretty promising. And here, the main reason I think it's going to be so successful this time around in this bull cycle is really it's the best blockchain around. So in terms of DeFi, in terms of meme coins, in terms of all kinds of transactions and activity happening in the crypto space, I think a lot of it is going to end up happening on the SWE blockchain. It's the fastest. It's basically the cheapest. There might be some cheaper transaction blockchains out there, but it's very, very, very cheap to do transactions, very fast, faster than anything else. So anyway, I'm really bullish on SWE. There's also a dude named Raoul Pal, who I respect a ton, is very, very knowledgeable about the whole macroeconomic situation. And he is very bullish on SWE. His top 3 cryptos going into this bull run are ETH, Solana, and SWE. Okay. If you want to start getting involved with SWE, you're going to need a wallet. I recommend the SWE wallet. There's another wallet called SWEet, which works fine. And it might be a little bit less clunky on some of the different dApps. But I've not had really any issues with SWE wallet. And the benefit of SWE wallet is it allows me to connect to the seed phrase on my ledger. So swewallet.com, very simple, and you can put this on your mobile phone or the browser extension, which is what I have right now. If you are like me and you keep your seed phrase stored safely on a ledger, just going to unlock this. Ledger does have a SWE app. I don't know if you guys can see that. Probably not. It's probably just blurry. But you can go into Ledger Live, and you can manage your Ledger device through that Ledger Live software, and you can load the SWE application onto your Ledger, and that allows you to have your wallet safely on the ledger. Remember, a wallet is a seed phrase. A seed phrase is a wallet. These are just apps. MetaMask is an app. Rabby is an app. SWE Wallet is an app. Phantom is an app. The real wallet is the seed phrase. And so you have a choice when you're getting into crypto and Web3 for that wallet, for that seed phrase. You can store it within an app, or you can store your seed phrase in a hardware device like this. My preference is the hardware device because it's way less susceptible. You could basically say it's basically impossible for a hacker to get in here and to steal my seed phrase. Not so with MetaMask. I've heard of MetaMask, for example, being hacked and a hacker being able to extract the seed phrase from the MetaMask app. So if you have your seed phrase in the app, any of these apps, it's a little bit less safe. Anyway, I keep my seed phrase in the ledger, and then I use the SWE wallet app to be able to do transactions. I have to press buttons on my ledger in order to actually sign those transactions. And the app is the interface between my ledger and whatever whatever website I'm attached to. Getting capital over to SWE, there are a couple of different options. Like I said earlier, you can actually buy SWE on Coinbase and on Binance, and then you can withdraw your SWE tokens directly to the blockchain, giving it your SWE address. So for example, here's the address of my account, which comes from my seed phrase on my ledger. So you can withdraw from those centralized exchanges directly to the SWE blockchain. If you have some money on Solana or BNB chain, those are the two main chains. There might be other chains from which you can bridge capital from those other blockchains over to the SWE blockchain. But I'm going to show you how to use this portal bridge. I've shown this before on my channel, but it bears repeating. And since this is a tutorial all about SWE, we might as well go through this exercise. I don't actually have any USDC at the moment, I don't think. Let me look in here. You want to bridge over USDC. Oh, cool. I do have some. No, that's on the ZK Sync blockchain. Crud. Yeah, I don't. I'm going to have to swap something for USDC. So I'll go back over to here. Let me go over here off the screen and just swap a little bit of BNB. I'm going to swap a little bit of BNB for USDC. Hold on a second. Let me quit the SWE application. Go back into the Ethereum. So on BNB chain, I'm just going to swap a little bit of BNB for USDC. And then I'll show you guys how to use this bridge. Okay, there we go. Now we have 85.7 USDC. Okay. Due to Solana's congestion, yeah, what else is new? Solana often gets congested. I kind of like, I do hold some Solana, so I am invested in Solana, but it's begrudgingly. I don't like the user experience on Solana. SWE is way better. But anyway, I'm going to bridge from BNB chain to SWE. Okay, so step one, let's select our chain. We're going to go from the oh crap, did I mess up? No, there it is. So apparently you can bridge BNB. I've always done USDC. All right, so Binance Smart Chain USDC is our from. There's my wallet. And then I already have my SWE wallet pulled up here. So I'm going to choose the SWI blockchain. And I don't think that's actually the wallet that I want. $67B9. Okay. No, that was the right wallet. All right. So we're going from Binance Smart Chain and we're bridging to SWIET. Let's just do all of it. Now, this website has changed a little bit. Yes. Okay. So there's two basic options when you're bridging from somewhere else to the SWI blockchain. This one here, you can see I'm going to pay a little fee of 50 cents. And get rid of that. This one is going to be free. But the trick here is I'm going to have to already have some SWI on the SWI blockchain, because SWI is the gas token used on the SWI blockchain to do the second part of that bridge. So the first part of the bridge is sending the USDC from BNB chain into the bridge. And the second part of the transaction is claiming that USDC from the bridge over on the SWI blockchain. Hopefully I said that correctly. And if this is your first time, there used to be an option. I'm not seeing it right now, but there used to be an option where not only would your USDC get bridged over, but the bridge would also like automatically buy you a little bit of gas. It would buy you like $5 worth of SWI or whatever, so that you would already have some SWI on the SWI blockchain in order to be able to pay gas fees. So I'm not seeing the details of that option, but I already have SWI on the SWI blockchain. So I'm going to choose the free option, and I will have to do 2 transactions. Notice it says right there, this transfer requires 2 transactions. You'll need to make 2 wallet approvals and have gas on the destination chain. So if you choose this one, you don't have to have gas on the chain. And I don't see it right now. It used to be clearer that there was an option where it would automatically buy you a little bit of, it would use like 1% of your bridged money to buy a little SWI. So you'd have some SWI on the blockchain. Anyway, I'm going to choose this option. So the first transaction is going to be on my Rabby wallet app, which is where I have my BNB chain connection and the wallet that's providing the USDC. So I have to sign that transaction and sign it on my ledger. Awesome. Error with transfer. Let's try this again. Jashawn says, hey, it happens. That's a good point. If you haven't used this bridge in the past and you don't have an approval in place, then you do have to approve the smart contract to spend your USDC tokens into. Got another error. You'll get 2 errors, but it actually works. All right. Sometimes. Whee! The first, I've done this like 4 or 5 times in the past, and it has always worked flawlessly. Of course, when I'm live on YouTube, it's gonna have, you know, it's gonna throw me for a loop. Let's try this again. Approval. So I'm approving. Maybe let's just increase this or something. Maybe that's the problem. I'm just going to give it permission to spend up to 100 USDC. Oh, well, that's interesting. It's Rabby is saying my balance of USDC is basically nothing, which would mean my USDC has already been given over. Let's take a look at the transaction. Okay, yep, there was the approval and there was the transaction. We get prepared to do the SWE transaction on the other side. Right, so it already sent the USDC on BNB chain. So the other side of that is going to be the claiming the USDC on the SWE side, which usually it would give me a link. Yeah, okay, Deshaun. Now, now how do I claim it on the SWE side? Because I'm used to it, updating this web page and showing me, or having a button where I can approve the transaction, the claim transaction on the. Oh, let me see resume transaction. Bridging can require manual redemption process on the designation chain. Ah, okay. That looks promising. Source transaction hash. Okay, let me back up a little bit. So there was a resume transaction link, which I clicked on, and this is basically giving me the option of continuing my transaction on the redemption side. So you send USDC to the bridge, and then you claim the USDC on the other side, meaning on the other blockchain, meaning SWE. Source chain transaction hash. I grabbed that from BNB chain, from BSC scan, excuse me. So there's the transaction hash, right? So I just copied that and I'll put that in here. And it can't find it. Awesome. Let's delete that. Try that again. Let's try it this way. Okay. Maybe it already came through. Let's look at my let's look at my wallet on you have to redeem in advanced tools after transfer. Okay. Over here. What is this button going to do for me? Ah, okay. So I'm going to spend a little bit of SWI for gas money, and I'm going to claim. Now it's asking me to confirm and sign this transaction on my ledger. Boom. Thank you, DeFi 88. Never a dull moment here on the YouTubes. And if we look at activity, there it is, September 30th, and there's the USDC coming in, a little bit of gas. SWI at the moment is about $1.80, maybe $1.82. So these gas fees are very, very small, less than a cent. So that's nice. And next, we will maybe provide a little bit of liquidity. Now, let me just give you guys a general little talk or little lesson about providing liquidity. So when I say provide liquidity, I'm talking about a V3 liquidity pool. And a V3 liquidity pool, the main difference between a V2 and a V3 or V1 and V3 is with V3, you get to designate a price range or a ratio range where you want your capital concentrated between that min and max price, and you're going to provide liquidity only in that price range. And when the price goes outside of that range, different things happen. So let's talk about that for a second. What happens when it's in range? What happens when it's out of range? So to illustrate my range, this is the SWI USD chart from Binance. All right, so this is showing us the price of SWI in terms of dollars. A lot of the times, most of the time when I provide liquidity, I'm doing it in what I call alt liquidity pool. So for example, I'm currently providing liquidity in this LP. This is the Jupiter token paired with the Solana token. So this is Jup Sol. And again, the rectangle designates my range. This really isn't, you can say this is a price chart, but it's more accurate to call this a ratio chart. So this is not showing us the price, the dollar price of Jupiter or Solana. This is showing us the ratio of Jupiter tokens versus Solana tokens in the liquidity pool. So this is telling us that right now you could swap one Jupiter token for 0.00571 Solana tokens, right? Or flip that around, you could spend 0.00571 Solana tokens and get yourself one Jupiter token. So again, this is the ratio in the liquidity pool between the two different tokens, token A and token B. Liquidity pools always have token A and token B, and the swapping or trading is facilitated by a smart contract that just monitors that ratio between the two tokens, and the price is really just the ratio between the two tokens. And so that being said, when we look at SWI and USDC, Here, if I'm providing liquidity in a liquidity pool that has SWI and USDC tokens, a stable coin token, now it's more, it lines up with what you normally think of in terms of price. Because when you say price, people are thinking the USD price. So with the SWI blockchain and these different decentralized exchanges where we can provide liquidity, there are some opportunities to provide liquidity in an alt pool. I haven't looked into it too much in the SWI blockchain, but I do provide liquidity in a bunch of other DEXs on different blockchains where I'm, like I said, I gravitate towards alt. And that way, no matter what the ratio does, stays in range, goes above my range, goes below my range, I'm always holding crypto. And that's what I want to do for the most part. I want to hold crypto. This is my crypto portfolio. I want this entire portfolio to go up as crypto goes up because I'm very bullish on crypto. When I provided liquidity and when I'm providing liquidity in this pool, now I'm providing some SWI and I'm benefiting as SWI goes up in value. But the other part of my liquidity provision is a stable coin. Obviously, that doesn't change in value. So that's just something to keep in mind. But the more important thing to keep in mind when you're considering providing liquidity is what people refer to as impermanent loss. Now, I don't like that term a lot because it generates a lot of confusion. And it also has the word loss. And I'm going to explain to you that sometimes you can have impermanent loss in a liquidity pool when you're providing liquidity and you didn't really lose any value. So a lot of times when people say impermanent loss, it's actually more of an opportunity cost. In other words, you had a gain in value, in US dollar value, but not as big of a gain as what you could have had if you hadn't provided liquidity and instead you were just holding the assets in your wallet. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind, and I'll give you an example right here. So when I started this liquidity position, my price range was from about 78 cents up to about $1.05 or so. Okay. And notice where the price was when I started this position, right in the middle. And so to establish this liquidity position, I needed to provide roughly 50-50. So USDC and SWI, both about equal values. And then when you're providing liquidity, your capital, your money is being used to make a market. What does making a market mean? Making a market means you are, let's say you're providing a service to traders. Traders come in, they're going to swap one token for the other. You're facilitating that activity. And what that means is your money, I should say, is taking the opposite side of every trade. So when someone here comes in here and buys SWI, my money is being used to fill that order. In other words, I'm selling SWI. So if traders are buying SWI, my liquidity position is selling SWI. If traders are selling SWI, my liquidity position is buying it up. So when we look at the price here in this liquidity position, it stayed within my range for a while. But for the most part, the price kind of went upward, right? So as traders were buying SWI, my liquidity position was selling SWI. Okay. Now, I only had so much SWI in the position to begin with. So once price reaches the top of my range, remember, that's the limit. I told the smart contract, I only want to provide liquidity between these two ratios or these two prices. And so once the price reaches the top of my range, I don't have any more SWE to sell. I was selling SWE. My liquidity position was selling SWE to traders, buying it for a little while as the price came down. Traders were selling. I was buying. Traders resumed buying. I resumed selling, but I don't have any more SWE to sell once it reaches the top. Now, if price comes back down, I've got plenty of USDC. In fact, when price hits the top of my range, all I have is USDC. I have the USDC that I put in there to begin with, plus all the USDC that I got for selling SWE, right? So as price starts to come back down, now my liquidity position, and I don't have to do any of this manually. The smart contract takes care of all of this automatically. I I don't have to watch anything. I'm, making money while I sleep. All right. So that's a very appealing aspect to this. But as traders are starting to sell off their SWE, now some of my USDC is being used to buy that up. Okay. And as we see here, eventually the price kept going higher. Okay. So once it went higher and never came back, that position is essentially done. It's still there. The money is there, but it's just in the form of USDC at this point, which means I've kind of capped my gains, right? I've already sold all the SWE that I put into this position. Now I'm holding 100% USDC. So that's where the opportunity cost comes in. If I had just never done this to begin with, and I just held on to my SWE, I would be benefiting from this price appreciation. I'm no longer benefiting from that to the extent all of my SWE that I put into the position has been sold off. It was already sold off here. Okay. That's kind of the reason I tend to avoid stablecoin pairs, and I gravitate towards alt pairs because I'm in this game to be 100% invested in crypto. At least this part of my overall investment portfolio, the idea here is to be in crypto. Now, that doesn't mean I put everything, every single SWE token that I had into this position. No, I only put a small fraction of my overall holdings into this liquidity position, which got sold off. But then the rest of the SWE that I had sitting in my wallet, okay, great. It's all, benefiting from this massive run up in price appreciation. And I had also purchased, a lot of SWE down here at 61 cents. I wish I'd bought more. I was trying to buy some more in this area, but you can see it only dipped in there for a moment, and I missed that. I think I was sleeping whenever that happened. It was 4 a.m. So I was not awake. But I wanted to. I just didn't get the chance to buy up SWE there. Anyway, I had, an average price down in the 60-something cents area. So as price started to come into this area, what I wanted to do is to cash in some of my chips. So once again, I use the liquidity pool not only to cash in some of my SWE, but also to collect a little extra in terms of swap fees that every liquidity provider earns. When you provide liquidity, I mean, that's the whole point of doing something like this is you want the fees. And ideally for a liquidity provider, price just has a ton of volume, but stays within your range. And with all that volume comes a lot of fees. And you never have to worry about, I'm not in the game anymore because the price overran my range. Here I had a slightly different intention with this position. Remember back here, I started the liquidity position about 50-50. My price range was, was centered around the current price. When I started this position, price was actually below my min. Okay. Now think about this for a second, and always remember a liquidity provider is taking the opposite side of every swap. So when you picture this in your brain or graphically on a chart like I do, you want to say to yourself, what happens if traders are buying? The price is going to go up, right? So my liquidity position is going to be selling SWE as traders are buying the price upward, bidding it upward. Okay. So in order to provide a liquidity position like this, where the range is outside of the current price completely, you think about that and you think, okay, well, what do I need to actually put into that liquidity position to facilitate this? And the answer here is SWE. So when I initiated this position, it was 100% SWE, right? And that allowed me to have this price range, and that allowed my liquidity position to sell SWE as traders were buying it. Okay. And this worked out pretty well for a while, right? You can see it stayed in my range, stayed in my range, stayed in my range. I kind of wish I had just left it. But like I said, my intention was to use this liquidity pool to, yeah, collect some fees for a little extra money, a little extra crypto. But also I was utilizing this to cash in some chips, right? So once the price reached pretty much the top of my range, didn't quite make it. I was a little bit impatient. I didn't know what was going to happen. Of course, you never do. But it was close enough. And I said, I'm going to go ahead and close this position. Now, traders had bought SWE up to $1.59. Okay. My liquidity position had sold most of its SWE. So this portion from here downward, that was all the USDC that I now had for selling almost all the SWE. I still had a little bit of SWE right there because I closed this position before price was beyond the maximum of my price range. Now, by closing the position, what I literally did is I went to the, to the DEX. I had this on FlowX, which we're going to get to. But when I close that position, I'm removing the liquidity. I'm removing my share of the liquidity pool. And if I do that where the price is up here, that means most of the capital that I'm extracting from the liquidity pool is going to be USDC, right? The vast majority of it is going to come out in the form of USDC back into my wallet, and then a little bit of SWE left over that hadn't been sold off yet. All right. So that was that position. And if we zoom out to a daily chart, I want to show you guys kind of my base level of technical analysis. So this is the previous all-time high. And I just put some horizontal lines at some of these key high points. So this was the previous all-time high, and then we blasted higher. This is the $1.45 level. And if you look here, there are many instances where the price of SWE sort of respected that $1.45 level. Okay. I mean, yeah, it went a little bit lower, but more or less respected that 145 level. Same thing here, same thing here, same thing here, same thing here. Okay. And then once it dropped below, look how perfectly it respected that level now from the underside, now respecting it as resistance. Okay. So clearly, at least in my opinion, the $1.45 level is important. We also have a fairly important, what looks to me to be an important level here at $1.65. Okay. Previous, at least for a few days, it was the all-time high, right? And then it was respected there. And then we broke through, broke higher, made a new all-time high. And look at how this price level, again, was respected, not just from above, but from below, a lot of closes here on that price level. There's another resistance. Okay, price seems to be interacting and paying attention to that level. Traders are paying attention to that level, right? It's acting as resistance, it's acting as support, it's acting as support, resistance, okay, and then it heads lower, and we're back below $1.45. Okay, so I've marked off these levels and have those extended forward in time, and now as far as my liquidity providing, I am keeping those levels in mind. So once I close this out, I I found additional reasons to be bullish on SWE. And I also expected, I didn't know when it was going to happen, and it still hasn't happened, but I did expect, and I do expect SWE to reach that previous all-time high up at $2 and roughly 17 or 18 cents. And I do actually expect it to go higher once we do reclaim the all-time high there and start making new ones. And so I found myself wanting to have more SWE. So what I did right here, let me zoom in a bit, is kind of the opposite of what I did over here. So notice the price was in this neighborhood when I initiated this position. And so I wanted to buy some more SWE. So I put my range intentionally at and below the current price. So again, my liquidity position is making a market. It's doing the opposite of what traders are doing. So my idea here was, let's get some selling. Let's have the traders sell SWE. My liquidity position will buy it up. And if I can time it correctly, let's see. And if the market cooperates, let's see if I can close this position with price down here. What would happen if price had gone down to the bottom of my range? Who can tell me what I would have had if price had gone all the way down below my range? Can anybody tell me? Have people have their eyes glazed over? Have your eyes glazed over? Is this too complex? Is this too boring? SWE, right? I would have all SWE, right? So traders sell SWE, my liquidity position buys SWE, and once price goes below my range, I've already expended all of my USDC and bought all the SWE that I possibly could. I can't buy anymore because I don't have any USDC left. And if I can time it right, meaning I can close that liquidity position with price below range, all of that SWE sitting in that liquidity position comes out of the liquidity pool, goes into my wallet, and there's an additional bag of SWE for the bull run, right? Price and the market didn't cooperate. The APR was juicy, meaning the fee income while price was in range was awesome. I was earning SWE and USDC at a rate of 2% per day in this area, just for this limited time. But then, of course, we got this blast higher. We got another local high. And I think that is, nope, we've had another local high there. So this, it worked out okay. I mean, I got a little bit of extra SWE, a little extra USDC in my bag, but it did just didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out. Perfectly fine. Got a little extra SWE. And so what I'm doing lately, what I'm doing now as of yesterday or the day before is, once again, I'm trying to build a bigger bag of SWE. Outside of this, I've already swapped a decent amount of my Bitcoin holdings and put it into SWE. And I bought SWE. I bought more SWE at a $1.65. So right in this area. But I always want more. I'm very bullish on SWE. More SWE. Right on. Thanks, guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish out this bridging process, because when you bridge USDC from BNB chain or Binance Smart Chain over to SWE, it's a particular flavor of USDC, and it is not the flavor of USDC that you need to provide liquidity in SWE USDC. So let's take a look at this. So I'm going to use the exchange called Cetus. You don't have to use Cetus. You can use FlowX. In fact, I wanted to show you guys this. I was noticing this earlier. If I go into my SWE wallet and go to apps, there are several DEXs. There's Cetus, there's FlowX. They don't list turbos there, but turbos is another DEX. I like FlowX for providing liquidity, and Cetus works well for doing this swap. Any of these DEXs will work fine, but let me show you guys these two flavors of USDC, because it's kind of weird. That's not the wallet that I want. That is not the wallet that I want. Let me disconnect that bad boy. I do have a Sweat wallet where the seed phrase is actually in the app. So obviously I don't keep much money in that wallet. I keep the vast majority of my holdings in my SWE wallet, which is actually, with the ledger. And so let's connect that. SWE wallet. Wallet is connected. Now, here we go. So the flavor, that 85.7 USDC that I bridged over, it is what I would call BNB flavor. And notice it says USDC and small letters BNB. Okay, you won't be able to use this in the liquidity pool positions. You need wormhole flavor. So WUSDC. This is the so-called wormhole flavor. This is the flavor of USDC that you're going to need. So just swap one for the other. Wow, that's interesting. I better take advantage of that. I don't know how in the world. I don't know. I don't think this is going to work. Sean, you ever see anything like this? I was gonna say you have to watch out for the exchange not having enough liquidity, where you don't get as many wormhole USDC as you have BNB USDC. I've never seen it with actually more. So that's fun. Let's try it. I can't imagine this is going to work. How am I going to get 220? I can't imagine. Yeah. Gas. Something weird is happening. I think I'm just going to reject this. This looks funky to me. Unable to verify site security. Gas estimation failed. This looks weird. Use hop. Yeah, but if I can get 210 USDC wormhole for my 85. Yeah, something's weird. Okay, so Jashawn coming through with some good advice. So there are a couple of different aggregators, which means it's a DApp that will search all the different dexes and all the different liquidity pools and end up finding the best rate for you. So again, you can go into your Sui wallet, you can click on apps, and we're looking for the Hop aggregator. Where is it? There it is. Hop.ag. Oh, I need my other wallet. I got some meme coins over here. And we'll see if I make a 500x or not. Here we go. Sui wallet. There's my BNB flavor USDC. That looks more normal. 85.7 becomes 85.71. Cool. That looks better. A little bit of gas fee there. Watch how quick these transactions go through too. I think it's already through. Pretty sure it's already through. Yeah, there it is. I like Rabby because every time you do a transaction, it gives you a little pop-up whenever the transaction is complete. You can just click on it, takes you to BSC scan or whatever network explorer. Sui wallet, not so much. But I have to use my ledger. I want to use my ledger, so boom. All right, so I got my wormhole flavor USDC, and now I'm going to provide just a small amount of liquidity. The easiest thing to do is to just do like a 50-50, maybe a certain percentage above, a certain percentage below. So I'll just go ahead and do that. Now, I like to use FlowX Finance, flowx.finance. This is where I have my USDC parked, trying to buy some more Sui between 160, roughly 164 and 148. You guys probably can't see that. It's probably microscopic over on the YouTubes. But let's go ahead and establish a new position. So when you come into flowx.finance, let's go to the home page. One-stop service for DeFi on the Sui network. Beautiful. There are some incentives being offered on FlowX and the other dexes. We like FlowX a lot, Jashawn and myself and a couple others in the Telegram group. We've been using this a lot because the volume is high compared to the liquidity that's in the liquidity pool. And that's what you want for as a liquidity provider. You want a lot of volume and not much liquidity in the pool that you have to share the fees with. So FlowX is good for that. And of course, all of these dexes lately are giving out extra Sui on top of the trading fees, as an incentive for people to provide liquidity. So this blockchain is really doing things the right way. And we are taking advantage. We're earning some nice APRs and building our bags of SWI over here. So, okay, so there we go. It defaults to SWI and USDC. Let me just take a quick look and see what else. So apparently I could pair SWI with ETH or USDT wrapped BNB. That is interesting. The thing is when I provide liquidity for an alt pool, I want those two alts to be pretty well correlated. So what I mean by that is if it's well correlated, let's say something like BNB and Solana, right? If BNB is up 2% on the day, chances are Solana is going to be up around 2% on the day. If they both, if one goes down, the other is going to go down in USD terms. And what that means is the ratio of BNB to Solana, for instance, is going to stay pretty flat over time. They're either both going to go up in dollar value, or they're both going to go down in dollar value, or they're going to both stay the same in dollar value. Neither one is going to outperform the other too drastically. I mean, it happens, but it's not going to be the general rule. SWI, on the other hand, seems to be getting a ton of attention and has been massively outperforming all the other altcoins. So I don't really want to pair SWI with some other altcoin, although it does look like there are some decent options. Wrapped ETH, wrapped BNB, interesting. I'm going to stick with the USDC. And I don't want to swap. I want to provide liquidity. So let's go to portfolio. And it lists my current position, not active, of course. Price is above my range on that one. Let's do a new position. V3, you need to select the two tokens. So again, we'll do SWI and wormhole flavor, USDC. And there are different fee tiers, but if you notice, the mouse pointer becomes that circle with a cross through it, a line through it. So this 0.3 fee tier is the only game in town at the moment. I imagine as this blockchain grows and this liquidity and this DEX grows, we'll probably have some lower fee tiers. The fee tier is what the traders have to pay to the liquidity providers every time they do a swap. So again, SWI, wormhole, USDC. What's my price range? So there are some default buttons here. The wide range all the way down to $1.51, all the way up to $2.05. That's kind of interesting, actually. I like that max. And yeah, I would love to buy. I would love the opportunity to buy some more SWI all the way down to $1.51. And this is what a liquidity position can actually do for you. In addition, is it kind of can be a way that you DCA and just automatically buy SWI over time if the price wants to dip lower from your initial position. If we choose narrow, okay, it's going to say it's going to give us a range roughly $1.70 up to $1.88, and you can also adjust these according to your own technical analysis on the chart, whatever you desire. Just keep in mind that if you, let's look at the chart, let's draw a rectangle. So let's say you wanted to do something like this. Notice the current price is towards the upper end. So what that means is you're only going to have a little portion of SWI and a big portion of USDC. You need to accommodate traders buying it up just a little bit. You just need a little bit of SWI to sell to the traders if they buy it up from here, but you need a lot more USDC if the sellers are coming in and they're selling SWI down. You're going to need more USDC to go ahead and buy that up. Again, liquidity providers take the opposite side of every trade. On the other hand, if you wanted to do something like this, you feel really bullish on SWI and you want to have a little bit of USDC here to buy it up just in case there's a little bit more dippage. But then you want to cash in on SWI going higher. Again, like if you're super bullish on SWI, this isn't necessarily, none of these positions are necessarily something that you want to do. Well, I take that back. If you're super bullish on SWI, you want more, you want to take advantage of a dip automatically, then you establish a position like this below the current price, right? And this is a big bag of USDC ready and waiting for sellers to come in, drive the price down, interact with the liquidity pool down here, where my USDC would be used to buy up some more SWI. And if the fates align and I'm awake and I'm able to catch it when the price is below range, that would be perfect. You know, maybe it only dips halfway down and I'm happy with the additional SWI that my liquidity position has purchased, close out the position, whatever. But if you're thinking, hey, you know, SWI is going to go up to 217 and then it's going to go to, you know, $3 and then it's going to go to 5 and 10 and 15 and 20 and higher. Well, then what you really want to do is not provide liquidity, but HODL, right? You want to just buy some SWI, not financial advice, of course. You want to buy SWI and just HODL it in your wallet for much higher prices. So keep that in mind. You know, providing liquidity is cool when price stays in your range and you're earning lots of swap fees and you're earning incentives. It's great. But if your long-term outlook is SWI is going to $25, let's say, then for the most part, you just want to hold on to your SWI and you want to maybe cash in when it's way, way higher. All right. So think about that before you decide what you want to do. But let's go ahead and go through the motions here of providing a new liquidity position. Get rid of that. Go back over here to flowx.finance and we're just going to make a very small position. So I have my 85 USDC. I'm just going to click that to do the maximum. It's going to pair it up with roughly the same value of SWI. Okay. And oh man, my ledger went back to screensaver mode. Hey, RD, thanks for tuning in. Oh, that's very nice. SMV CEO, appreciate the compliment. So let's go ahead and add the liquidity, 85 USDC, 52.9 SWI tokens. There's my price range. Hit the add liquidity, approve it in my SWI wallet, sign the transaction on my ledger. Watch how fast this is. Boop, done. And that's not a simple transaction. You know, that's a fairly complex DeFi transaction where we're, you know, adding liquidity to a liquidity pool. This is SWI Vision, by the way. This is my favorite blockchain explorer for the SWI blockchain. There's another one called SWI Scan. I don't like it as well. It's fine, but SWI Vision is really my preferred blockchain explorer, where you can pick apart these transactions and see exactly what happened. You got the timestamp. You have the changes here, which tells you exactly what happened. Your account was debited 59 point whatever SWI, and it was debited that amount of USDC. Okay, so this will include everything, even the gas fee. The gas fee, by the way, super, super cheap. Like I said, that was a pretty complex transaction as far as, DeFi goes. It wasn't a simple matter of sending some crypto from one wallet to another. But 0.00956 SWI, current price is about $1.80. So, okay, so that was more than a cent, 1.7 cents. I have had transactions where the gas fee was a lot lower than that. Swap fees are a lot lower than that, and they work out to be less than a cent. Anyway, very, very cheap transactions, very fast transactions. I think this blockchain has a lot of promise for the future. And let's take a look at that liquidity position I just created. Let's go back to my my portfolio screen. And now it should show both. Okay. And there's the new one we just did. This is a very small position. We can go to manage. APR. Oh, that was weird. Yeah. Around 145% APR. Now that does not include the incentives. And I have seen, I have experienced where my yield here, this is the trading fees that you earn, just as any liquidity provider does. There's the SWI and the USDC that you're earning from all the swap fees. This extra amount down here, the incentive reward, I have experienced where actually the incentive reward was more than the swap fees. And this is nice as well because no matter how low the volume is, and maybe there's not a lot of swapping taking place, you're not really earning much in fees. As long as you're in range, you're always earning those incentives. And again, this comes in the form of extra SWI tokens. So really, really nice little added bonus just for providing liquidity that is in range. And I think that's going to do it. Yeah, SMV, I did see your DM. I am not really in the business of promoting any kind of tokens or anything like that. Really just educational content here, especially promote any courses. That's an interesting question. Let's chat a little bit more in the DMs. I thought maybe it was somebody else that was DMing me about promoting a new daily ROI DApp, and it's just like I'm gonna pass on that. I am no longer participating in any sort of musical chairs protocols, what I call musical chairs protocols. But sure, we can have a conversation in the DMs, and that is gonna do it. A little bit more than an hour on the stream tonight. I've been super busy lately trying to get all my crap ready for the accountants to do my 2023 taxes finally. So I apologize. I haven't been very active on YouTube at all. Also getting purchasing some real estate here in Puerto Rico, which is super exciting. And I'm really excited about it. My wife is going to be able to finish her residency and come down and spend time here with me in Puerto Rico. It's going to be amazing. So that is why I haven't really been too active on YouTube. But I do appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you very much. Make sure to subscribe, like the video. If you're watching the recorded version, thank you so much for watching my my video. I know it was long. I'll try to do the time codes to make it a little bit easier to navigate. But thank you for watching the video. Make sure to like the video, leave a comment down below, subscribe, turn on notifications, and join the Telegram group. Learn as much as you can about Web3 and DeFi. The future is decentralized. It's a huge opportunity. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers.